Greetings, loyal subscribers and honoured guests. So it's been a while since I've really made any videos of note on the channel, but I'm on holiday now until January the 9th, so that gives me some time to work on some videos, yeah, I've got a few things that I want to make, starting with my pickups for November stuff. So I've got two parts for you, one today probably and one next Sunday probably. Other than that, I've also got a Cover Mount Chaos episode to watch, because they recently sent out the files for the latest issue of Zap 64, the games and stuff, but I haven't actually received the physical magazine yet. But I'll take a look at those games over the next week probably and make that video. And then there's another video that I'd like to make, which I'll get to in a moment when I start showing off the first pickup, because it's related. So without further ado, let's get on with the rest of the video. So we kick things off today. Let me just move the camera a little bit so I'm in the circle, with the C64 Collection 1 for the Evercade. These are there's two new Evercade collections that I've got recently. There's been some more that people are receiving at the moment because of the EXP launch, but I haven't got mine yet because the limited edition EXPs were stolen, so I have to wait for them to reproduce those, and I won't be getting it till January. But never mind. There's plenty of other stuff to play in the meantime. Not least of which is this Commodore 64 collection, and to be honest, I'm more excited about the possibilities that this opens up with this Blue Collection series that they've just kicked off than I am with the actual games on this particular collection, because a lot of these are not really my personal taste in Commodore 64 games, and some of them are not very good at either, or just overly complex in the case of Iridis Alpha. But anyway, I thought I would do a sort of combination of my Evercade Arcade and my cover tape Chaos, or compilation station rather, series for the Commodore 64, and play through all of the games here for a while, and yeah, show them all and rate them. It's going to be quite a long video possibly, unless I divide it up. I don't think I will. I'll probably just do one long video because I've got plenty of time to make it at the moment. So there's 14 games, which you're seeing on the screen at the moment. Gateway to Apshai Spoilers is one of my favourites on the compilation. But yeah, what I'm hoping for out of this microcomputer series is, first of all, if they do another Commodore 64 collection, then they should look at recent indies. For example, all of the shoot 'em ups and the Briley Witch Chronicles by Sarah Jane Avery, or perhaps they could partner with Cytronic or Pond Software, or someone like that. Arla Soft, they've got loads of good games. So yeah, I would like to see some new stuff for these old computers, not just so-called classics or classics that aren't really very good to begin with. And then going forward, beyond that, I'd like to see other computers. They are pretty much confirmed to be doing Amiga collections, which is good. But I'd also like to see BBC Micro. I'd like to see Amstrad. I'd like to see Spectrum, MSX, maybe Sharp 98,000, and yeah, more obscure stuff really, and maybe even if they can get DOSBox working, then some early DOS games, or a Scum compilation, or a Sierra point and click compilation. But anyway, the trailer's finished, so I need to move on. So next up we have the other Evercade collection that's just come out, which is a combination of two games. It's that might not sound a lot, but these are really big, extensive games, both that fall within the Metroidvania genre, really, and they are Alwa's Awakening, which is what you can see now. This is the 8-bit edition, because they did release Alwa's Awakening for sort of modern platforms and Steam at first, and then the same people went and made an NES version that would work on actual NES hardware. I do believe it is available as a physical NES cartridge. Maybe not anymore, it's probably sold out because they did it in limited numbers. But anyway, you can get it on this collection here, along with Cathedral. Cathedral is cool. Well, both of these games are cool, really, because they're, instead of being emulated via a NES emulator or other emulator, these are the first sort of natively running games on the Evercade hardware, which does have a few drawbacks, like no save states or not being able to bring up the menu anymore. But this game in particular is a massive one. I've heard estimates of about 30 hours. The other one, Alwa's Awakening, isn't so long. I don't really know how long that takes, but it's a lot shorter. But together, for $17.99, they are really good value, and many people think this is the best thing that the Evercade has released so far. But let's move on. So, third thing is Atari 50. I've got the Nintendo Switch version, and this has quite a large collection of classic Atari games, from all the way from the Atari 800 up to the sort of Jaguar, with stuff in between, like the Atari 800 computer, the Atari Lynx handheld, all sorts of stuff. And while that's cool, the real good thing about this collection is the museum mode, because as you can see, there's a sort of timeline with key events that happened in Atari history, and there's loads of interviews which are really interesting, and there's all sorts of scanned documents, like the manuals have all been scanned, and there's sort of design documents and sketches and artwork, and it's really cool. And it's also something of a breakthrough, because Jaguar emulation has been notoriously difficult to pull off, but they've worked with the chap to develop a brand new, fully functioning Jaguar emulator, which runs at full speed and is already pretty solid. And they've allowed him to release it open source as a direct result of working on it for this compilation, and now it's out there in the community. So that's really cool as well. So if you're interested in old games, or Atari in particular, then I'd really recommend picking that one up. Now we have a more modern release, which is the first of the Xbox games I'm showing you today, and this is Evil West. It's a sort of it's a steampunk Wild West third-person shooter with horror elements. The main enemies are things like vampires and werewolves. It's really over the top. The same team who made the Shadow Warrior trilogy, the modern trilogy, worked on this, Flying Wild Hog, and it's nothing very deep or sophisticated, really. It's just going back to the sort of title you could find on the Xbox 360, the sort of B game, where it's fun to play, over the top, but perhaps lacking in polish in some areas. I do think it looks nice. It's a shame that the console versions can't run in 60 FPS. I think it's locked to 30. But other than that, it looks and plays quite well on the Series X. So yeah, it's fun. I'd maybe suggest waiting for a sale if you're doubtful about whether you'd like it or not. Next up is a slightly older Xbox One release, which is Batman the Telltale series Season 1, and I've picked up a few Batman games recently. I got Batman Arkham franchise on the Steam Deck as well, the entire collection, and this is a direct result of playing Gotham Knights and then watching the Batman with Robert Pattinson, and wanting to go back to some of the older Batman games that I enjoyed. And the two Telltale series are some of the more interesting takes on Bruce Wayne and Batman, because they've changed up some of the key characters in interesting ways. And yeah, one of the cool things I thought in this one is that you've got your best friend Harvey Dent, and of course he always inevitably turns into Two-Face usually, but there's a key moment in this series where you can actually prevent him ever being injured or turning into Two-Face, which I thought was really cool. It does mean that you sort of sacrifice your friendship with Catwoman. It's an either-or choice that you make, but I decided to go down the route and see what would happen if Two-Face was actually a good guy, and yeah, he never got transformed from being Harvey Dent. But yeah, so that's Season 1. I'll very quickly move into Season 2. So Season 2 follows on directly from that one, really, and things that were set up in Season 1 sort of come to fruition in Season 2, and yeah, there's more interesting twists on classic characters. But I don't want to spoil this one too much. I don't really need to say too much more about it, except the Riddler is the main adversary, as you can probably tell by that brief glimpse there. But I won't play any more of that, actually. I'm going to move on. We've come to the last thing in this part already, which is an original Xbox game called Crash and Burn. And it's by Climax Racing, who later went on to be called Black Box, working for Disney. And this game is actually quite similar to the game they went on to make called Split Second Velocity. It's just called Split Second if you're in the US, but Velocity was added to the UK release to differentiate it from the Rutger Hauer film, I think. But anyway, yeah, I've played a bit of this and it's quite a lot of fun. It's not quite the same as Split Second, but you can see how this might have evolved into that. There's lots of collisions and explosions and crazy demolition races, and yeah, I hadn't really... Well, I'd vaguely heard of this game, but I didn't know Climax worked on it, and I didn't know if it was any good or not until I saw it on someone else's video, I think, and I thought it looked cool and decided to pick it up. Or maybe I discovered it on a one of those demo discs that I checked out for a bit. I can't remember really, because this has been waiting for me to talk about for a little while, so I forget exactly how I came to find out about it. But anyway, I have now. And it was only a few quid to pick up on eBay, so yeah, now it's part of my growing original Xbox collection. I shouldn't imagine that collection will grow too much further, as I've got most of the games that I really want, and some of the other games that I might have added are getting expensive now, like Otogi 1 and 2. But anyway, that really brings me to the end of part 1. It hasn't been too long really, but we're sort of getting on for 15 minutes. So there'll be a part 2 with roughly the same number of games in it. So that'll probably be a week later after this one. So I'll see you on that one. And in the meantime, take care.